Welcome back. It is Thursday. It is very nearly the week of, what are we on? It's the 19th, isn't it, today? So next week, if you're celebrating Christmas, and I suspect you're not going to be around, and as I say, I'm not going to have a podcast newsletter next week because I know a lot of people are not going to be picking up on the stuff. But I hope you pick up on these episodes once you get back. Right, let me talk about what we've got today. I'm going to talk about a focus topic for this week, which is starting where your audience already is and the importance of doing that, how to approach it and how to make sure that you're in line with it. And then also our Comms Conundrum. What are you going to do in our fictional scenario this week if you are facing this situation? Right, let's run through this, starting off with our focus topic. And the point of this one is starting where your audience already is. You know those campaigns that immediately grab your attention, right? Why did they manage to do that? Almost always, it's because they said something you cared about personally. The most effective campaigns don't try to pull people into their world. They go out and meet them where the people are. And PR-led marketing is all about telling a story, as we know. But to engage people and to get them into that marketing story, you need a starting point. And that starting point doesn't necessarily need to be what your campaign is about. It needs to be something they care about. And one of the mistakes that people often make is relying too much on core demographics like age or social groupings. And the problem isn't that they do that research, that's really important, but it's that they approach it as if people act rationally, but as we know, they don't. So what we've got to do is we need to understand people inside their heads. We need to understand how they really feel, not what's logically necessarily good for them. Because if we understand how people are really thinking in their heads, then for example, for a car insurance company, instead of declaring our service is better than others, an effective campaign might start with an influencer complaining about the rising cost of car insurance. Now, as always, I want to keep as much of what I share in these podcasts completely free. But as I mentioned on Tuesday, if you want to get a full step-by-step guide on this, then I am now doing it in the Public Relations Podcast Premium, which you can find by going to the Public Relations Podcast website and click on the members section. This is where I'm breaking down these techniques and ideas that I talk about in the show far more into a hack a week that you can use to actually add to your campaign. So if you want to check that out, have a look at the publicrelationspodcast.com and click members. But let's have a look at the kind of core steps here. So step one, obviously, is you've got to find people. So it's starting with the obvious, really, isn't it? Finding where your audience actually talks. Is it Reddit threads? Is it Facebook groups? Is it LinkedIn discussions? Where they have those conversations. But number two is to listen. And to listen to what they say, but to query what you find. Instead of just taking comments at face value, ask yourself, why are they saying this? What's triggering them to make this comment? What's happening in the world that is causing them to feel this way? We're looking for the psychology behind how they feel, not just the reasons they claim they're saying it. So, for example, another one might be if you're in retail, you notice where your customers are talking about delayed deliveries or confusing return policies or whatever it is. But the point is that you're seeing their frustration, but you're looking beneath that to see what they're actually saying. And then point three is to craft a relatable start to your campaign. So what you're doing here is you're building your opening message around their current mindset. So instead of saying, buy our product because it's great, you reflect their feelings to cut through the noise. So, for example, a restaurant chain, instead of shouting, we had the best food, you invite scientists to conduct a study comparing famous fast food with your restaurant's offering. Or maybe use science to highlight the failings of fast food compared to your healthy ingredients. I mean, the reason why this works is that you are starting from where your audience already is, and therefore you build instant trust and rapport. You're not just talking at them, you're talking with them, and that connection makes all the difference. Now, if you get stuck on this, you get stuck on coming up with an idea about where to start, then feel free to reach out. It's always fun to brainstorm all these things. So if you have a scenario, let me know. You can always reach out to me on LinkedIn. It'd be interesting to see if we can come up with an idea to help you get started. Right, let us round up before we have a little bit of a break over the Christmas period with our Comms Conundrum. I know you like these ones. So here we go. This is the one this week. Remember, as always, you've only got two choices you can pick from. Just imagine this scenario, okay? So you're sat at a chair in an office and the boss walks in and you find that you're working this time for a major global hotel chain. And the boss walks in and says, I've had enough of these short-term rental companies like Airbnb. I want you to take them on and start bringing more business back to our hotel group. So what do? You start by doing some research and you find that people perceive short-term rentals as cheap, flexible, and exciting, while they view hotels as expensive, predictable, and somewhat impersonal. So how are you going to weave into the public consciousness the idea that hotels offer more and are better? Now, as always, as I say, you've got two choices on this one. The first choice is this. Do you create a transparent value challenge campaign comparing the hidden costs of short-term rentals like cleaning fees, cancellations, unreliable hosts with hotels upfront pricing and extras like service, safety and perks? So a transparency, comparing the hidden costs of short-term rentals with hotels and how much it costs and what you get for each one. Or do you, number two, do you launch a campaign using influencers who stay at hotels and compare them to nearby Airbnbs, showing that hotels are often a better value for money when you factor in benefits like food, cleaning and reliability? So which one are you going to do? Are you going to use the influencers to do this, or are you going to use whereby they actually go and stay at things and compare them? Or do you come up with a campaign that emphasizes the hidden costs of short-term rentals? What would you do? Which one would you feel? This is what I think I would do. I think the problem with option one is, although it is as transparent and authentic as it can be, it risks coming across as defensive or overly critical of short-term rentals. And we already know the public perceives short-term rentals in our research as exciting and interesting. So you're trying to convince them of something that they don't want to believe. And the danger of that is that it might backfire and make them side with the rentals, even if they don't get a better deal in reality. Now, with option two, you're not making the claims yourself. You're getting trusted influencers to highlight the value of hotels. So even if hotels are slightly more expensive, influencers can then emphasize the added benefits of food, rooms cleaned daily without extra fees, reliable service, etc., etc. If necessary, offering free stays to encourage authentic comparisons from those influencers. So option work certainly could work as part of a broader campaign, I think. But if I had to choose, I'd go with option two. Remember, we must choose one of these two options simply because I think it's going to lead to a better result. But what do you think? What would you do in this situation? I'm always interested in hearing from you. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast for this week and indeed throughout 2024. I was about to say 2023. Gosh, don't the years pass quick. We've had a lot of different episodes, a lot of different guests, and a lot of different format changes and all kinds of things over the year. So if you've been with me for the long haul, thank you so much for being with me. If you are a newcomer, then welcome. Let me know what you need and let me know what you want to talk about, because I do, as I've so many times in the past, perhaps I haven't said it as much more recently, is I do want to make this a conversation about technique and about things that are useful for people when you're doing a PR-led marketing approach to comms, which, as I say many times, I think is going to be the most important approach you can take to marketing over the next few years. So you are in the right place if you are listening to this. If you are celebrating Christmas, have an absolutely wonderful next couple of weeks. If you're not celebrating Christmas, then have a fantastic next couple of weeks anyway. I know people are listening around the world, and I just wish you a happy and healthy time, and I hope you have a wonderful time with your family or friends or whoever it is you're going to be celebrating with. Don't forget to let's connect. Don't be shy. I love hearing from you. Connect with me on LinkedIn. You can find me. Just search for Richard Midson, M-I-D-S-O-N, Richard Midson, M-I-D-S-O-N. And I think that's about it. Oh, don't forget to share the newsletter as well. If you know anyone else who you think would enjoy the newsletter, do let them know about it too. That's it for now. Have a great time. Speak to you real soon.